President Bola Tinubu mourns Pope Francis, lauds his global legacy. National Assembly shifts its resumption to May 6th. Plus, Conference of Speakers demand urgent action over spate of killings across Nigeria. Do you love and care about Rivers State and her peace? Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is the task we must accomplish. Good evening and welcome to Rstv World News. I am Ibifa Asawu. President Bola Tinubu has described the death of Pope Francis as a great loss to the world, saying humanity has lost one of its powerful voices for justice, peace, and compassion. In a statement personally signed by himself, President Bola Tinubu joined Catholics and Christians across the world to mourn the reverend spiritual leader who passed away just a day after delivering his traditional Easter Sunday blessings at St. Peter's Basilica. He noted that the timing of the Pope's death, following the celebration of Christ's resumption, signified a sacred return to his Maker at a time of renewed hope for Christians. Recalling the Pope's papacy, which began in 2013, Tinubu said Pope Francis stepped into the global stage with a clear message of mercy, calling on the world to recognize Christ in the marginalized, poor, and migrant and forgotten world. He challenged the power to act with justice, called nations to welcome the stranger, and reminded us that our common hope, this earth, is a gift we must protect for future generations. Tinubu praised the late Pontiff's commitment to aftermath harmony, climate action, and advocacy for the developing world, describing Pope Francis as an instrument of peace who deeply embodied the message of Christ, which is love for God and love for humanity. The National Assembly has announced a shift in the resumption date for its plenary session from earlier scheduled Tuesday, April 29, 2025 to Tuesday, May 6, 2025. The extension was confirmed in a notice signed by the clerk to the National Assembly, Kamuru Ogunlayi, stating that the decision was made to allow lawmakers participate in Workers' Day celebration and attend to important constituency matters. The NAS advised the general public to take note of the new date and expressed regret for inconveniences caused by the adjustment and appreciated stakeholders for their understanding. Speaker of the State House of Assembly across Nigeria, under the aegis of the Conference of Speakers of State Legislature, have strongly condemned the recent upsurge in attacks and killings in various parts of the country. In a statement issued Monday by the chairman of the conference, Right Honorable Adebo Ogundoyin, the speaker expressed deep concern over the tragic loss of lives, misplacement, and emotional trauma inflicted on citizens by the escalating violence. Ogundoyin, who said the conference is alarmed by the frequency and brutality of the incident, as well as the apparent inability to curtail the bloodshed, stressed that the era of rhetorical condemnation is over, but that the country urgently needs a decisive, coordinated action from all tiers of government. While acknowledging that matters of defense and national security fall within the purview of the federal government, Ogundoyin expressed that all levels of government must take responsibility for protecting lives and welfare of Nigeria. He urged the government to rise to the challenge, reminding them that governance extends beyond infrastructure and ceremonial appearances. He called for the enactment and enforcement of laws that promote community policing and other grassroots-oriented security strategies. Meanwhile, the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center has called for the collective action to end the senseless killings of innocent citizens across the country. It made the call in a statement on Sunday night in the spirit of Easter season that symbolizes sacrifice, hope, and renewed Christendom. The statement, signed by the Executive Director, Awal Ibrahim Musa, described the killing as traumatic. According to them, Easter is meant to be a time of deep reflection, not just for individuals, but for leaders as well. Yet, for millions of Nigerians, it has become a painful reminder of life cut short, families shattered, and country sliding downwards into insecurity, economic hardship, and financial indifference. The head of Civil Service of the Federation, Mrs. Didi Esther Walsin-Jack, has announced that the Digital Bridge Institute will play a key role in training civil servants and facilitate the digitization of all federal government ministries, departments, and agencies. Walsin-Jack said the collaboration aligns with the priority areas of President Bola Tinubu's administration aimed at transforming the civil service and modernizing operations to meet global standards. She made the disclosure during a meeting with President Bola Tinubu and the Executive Officer of DBI, Mr. David Deza, at her office in Abuja. According to her, the vision is to enhance efficiency, transparency, and innovation in public service delivery, and each office will leave no stone unturned to ensure that civil servants are trained in the area of ICT and that all the MDAs are effectively digitized in line with global standards. The Presidential Initiative for Unlocking the Healthcare Value Chain has signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Empower School of Health, Geneva, to establish a pharmaceutical manufacturing training academy in Nigeria. This, said to be strategic partnership, aims to bridge the workforce gap in the pharmaceutical sector and support the national global production of 70% of pharmaceuticals by 2030 and 60% of vaccines by 2040, in line with the vision set by the African Center for Disease Control. Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Pati, who disclosed this during the signing event, said PVAC aims to catalyze the transformation of Nigeria's health sector and the ecosystem through substantial investment and enhanced private sector partnership, an initiative that seeks to address critical gaps in local manufacturing of life science products and healthcare services. He also said more than 10 value chain verticals have been established within the country, highlighting that these milestones align with President Bola Tinubu's commitment to transforming health sector from a consumption-driven model to one that creates jobs and enhances economic values. Do you love and care about Rivers State and her peace? Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is a task we must all accomplish. Still to come on the news, Carlos Schwaber steps down as chairman of World Economic Forum after 50 years. Trump backs defense secretary after reports of second signal chat leaks. And in sports, under 20 AFCON, Flying Eagles land Cairo to face Egypt in friendly Tuesday. Stay with us.
Omega Power Ministries, OPM Worldwide, presents 7 Saturdays to Get Pregnant.
After 14 years.
After 14 years,
Ejima after 14 years.
A boy and a girl.
Are you seeking for the fruit of the womb? Do you have infertility issues? Do you have a low sperm count? Are the doctor's reports saying you can never get pregnant or father a child? Are your in-laws mocking you that their son married a man like him? Have you gone everywhere seeking for help with no solution? Are you tired of the insults, mockery, and shame of childlessness? Cry no more, for Dr. Jesus has remembered you in this 7 weeks program titled 7 Saturdays to Get Pregnant. It will be hot, it will be explosive, and it will be powerful. Date from Saturday 19th April through Saturday 31st May 2025. That is Saturday 19th April 2025, Saturday 26th April 2025, Saturday 3rd May 2025, Saturday 10th May 2025, Saturday 17th May 2025, Saturday 24th May 2025, and Saturday 31st May 2025. Time 8 a.m. in the morning. Venue OPM GRA 2, number 2 Greg Obuefi Street, GRA Phase 2, Port Harcourt, River State. Every day holds a special and unique package for someone. Don't miss out.
OPM, Dr. Jesus in action. Dr. Jesus in action. God is here.
Alright everyone, open your ears, make we talk. Shout my team fresh now, but you know, I beg no be slow. Ever heard of Colgate, the #1 oral care brand in the world? For zero cavities and long-lasting fresh breath. Mom, it's your time to brush. Mama and Papa buy up, use up and shine your smile. No more cover mouth. Because with Colgate, that's what do ya got with your smile.
If they're ahead.
Full of nourishment and vitality. Protein is good for me, good for you.
Hi. You don't know when you have bacteria breath, and bacteria may be the cause of it. Don't let bacteria breath get all the attention. Use Close-Up with antibacterial zinc. Close-Up helps get rid of bacteria breath.
If they're ahead.
Full of nourishment and vitality. Protein is good for me, good for you.
Alright everyone, open your ears, make we talk. Shout my team fresh now, but you know, I beg no be slow. Ever heard of Colgate, the #1 oral care brand in the world? For zero cavities and long-lasting fresh breath. Mom, it's your time to brush. Mama and Papa buy up, use up and shine your smile. No more cover mouth. Because with Colgate, that's what do ya got with your smile.
With heavy hearts but in submission to the will of God Almighty, we, the entire family of Emejuru in Mbwigwe Omopo and Elechi family of Ovwa Omopuriku, both of Elele Town in Ikwere local government area of River State, announce the sudden demise of our illustrious son, father, grandfather, brother, nephew, cousin, uncle, husband, and friend, Honorable Ubojekere Kichika Isaiah Emejuru, fondly called UK, whose sad event occurred on the 6th day of March 2025 after a brief illness. He was aged 58. Funeral arrangement Tuesday, 22nd April 2025, 8 a.m. Body Lifts Military Hospital Mortuary, Aba Road, Port Harcourt, for a brief stop at Ikwere Local Government Council Headquarters, Ishupo, and finally to his residence at Mbwigwe for final funeral rites to be conducted by the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Elele District. J.U.K. Emejuru's son, announcer for the family.
This is Rstv World News. We bring you world-class news, accurate, first-hand, entertaining. balanced analysis. RSTV, Channel 22 Port Harcourt.
You're welcome back. Carlos Cueva has stepped down as the World Economic Forum chairman after 50 years, marking a major leadership shift. Carlos Cueva, the influential founder of the World Economic Forum, officially resigned as chairman of its board of trustees, marking the end of an era for the institution he built into one of the most powerful gatherings of global business and political leaders. The 88-year-old German economist, who has led the Geneva-based organization since its inception in 1971, announced his resignation in a statement released by the WEF on Monday, today. Squarewap said, following his recent announcement, as he enters his 88th year, he decided to step down from the position as chair and as a member of the board of trustees with immediate effect. The WEF board accepted his resignation during an extraordinary meeting held on April 20, and Vice Chairman Peter Brabeck-Letmatty will serve as interim chairman while the committee begins search for permanent successor. Squarewap founded the WEF with the aim of providing a global platform for world leaders, top executives, and experts to discuss and address global issues, and what began as a small gathering in the Swiss village of Davos has evolved into a high-profile annual summit that draws some of the most influential figures from across the globe. President Donald Trump has backed U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth after reports that the military attack details were shared in a group chat that included Hegseth's wife, brother, and personal lawyer. The controversy comes as a month after a journalist was added to a Signal group chat in which U.S. cabinet officials, including Hegseth, discussed plans to attack Houthi rebels in Yemen. In the second Signal chat, Hegseth shared information about airstrikes against Yemen. The information about strikes about BBC US news partner CBS confirmed, citing sources familiar with the message. The message sent on 15th March included flight schedules for American FA-18 Hornets carrying out strikes on Houthi targets. Pope Francis, history's first Latin American pontiff, who charmed the world with his humble style and concern for the poor, but alienated conservatives with critics of capitalism and climate change, has died on Monday at 88. The Bishop of Rome, Francis, returned to the home of the Father. His entire life was dedicated to service of the Lord and of the Church. The Vatican, Camilo said in an announcement. Francis, who suffered from chronic lung disease and had part of one of his lungs removed as a young man, was admitted to Gamelli Hospital on February 14, 2025 for a respiratory crisis that developed into double pneumonia, and spent 38 days there, the longest hospitalization of his 12-year papacy. From his first greeting as Pope, a remarkably noble Bonsoir, good evening, to his embrace of refugees and the downtrodden, Francis signaled a very different tone for the papacy, stressing humility over hubris for a Catholic Church besets scandal and accusation of indifference. Now sports. Nigerians under 20, the Flying Eagles, have arrived in Cairo, the capital of Egypt, for the 7th-time African champions to get set for the 17th African Under 20 Cup of Nations final starting in the North African country on Sunday. A delegation of 24 players and 9 officials led by the head coach Aliou Zabairu touched down at the Cairo International Airport aboard Egypt Air flight on Sunday evening. The team is lodged at Jewel's Support City and Kwa Resort and are expected to have their first training session on Monday evening. Meanwhile, the Flying Eagles will square up to host nation, the Young Pharaohs of Egypt, on Tuesday evening as part of their build-up to the African Under-20 World Cup to take place on the 27th to 18th of May 2025. And with this, we come to the end of today's news broadcast. Do you love and care about Rivers State and her peace? Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is a task we must all accomplish. And to end the news, a recap of some of our major stories. President Bola Tinubu has described the death of Pope Francis as a great loss to the nation and the world, saying humanity has lost one of its most powerful voices for justice, peace, and compassion. The National Assembly has announced a shift in its resumption date for plenary session from the earlier scheduled Tuesday, April 29, 2025 to May 6, 2025. We also brought you a report that speakers of the State Houses of Assembly across Nigeria, under the aegis of Conference of Speakers of State Legislation, have strongly condemned the recent upsurge in attacks and killings in various parts of the country. This is the news. Good night.
Here we are, nestling and boisterous.
Cupid, draw back your bow.